Welcome to the Sands Fitness Podcast, a place for conversations on fitness, health, and what's happening in the Sands community.
Hello and welcome to the Sands Fitness Podcast. My name is Joff, head coach here at Sands Fitness. And today we have none other than One Take Tommy on the show.
G'day,
again.
Guys. Back again.
For episode number 3.
4?
Technically number 4. We had a phantom episode in between that I didn't save.
That was a good episode as well. So
Yeah,
many predictions.
you got some predictions in that as well, but they vanished. I think you let everybody else know what your predictions were though, so that kind of came through. Anyway, like I said, this is our 4th podcast. We had some good feedback from the first 2, and it gives us a chance to kind of talk you through some other things going on in the gym and kind of recap what's happened. And today we're actually going to go through and just recap the Open that finished last week, and it was very positive.
Yeah, 2018 Open. It was definitely one of my favorite Opens. I think it's one of the best programmed Opens as well. I've probably been doing the Open since 2014, but I did see 2012 and 2013, just didn't compete, but I was around the gym at the time. And then so realistically, the very, very well programmed, and I think our athletes and our members got a kick out of it. New PBs, personal bests, people doing pull-ups for the first time, which was really cool to see. Cleans, there was PBs galore going down. So yeah, very, very cool Open series.
Yeah, it was cool. And I think as coaches, when we spoke, we were very happy with it and how everybody did. And it was good. I think we had 97 members in total, which is the most we've ever had. So I think what we'll do is we'll kind of just recap and we'll go through and start at 18.1, and we can kind of go through and explain the workout and where people did well and where there were some weaknesses, which you can help us with. So in terms of the first workout, I thought it was a good one for catching people's attention. Even there was some people that were coming down for our first time we did it. It was a busy day. People weren't signed up. They were excited about the first workout, and they ended up signing up and doing the rest of it. So I think maybe it was the plan of CrossFit to kind of catch people in and engage them with some, fairly basic movements, and I think it worked well. Yeah,
very, very cool start to the Open. Like movements that are applicable to every single person. And a lot of people chose to, go RX on that one, whether it was to get their first couple of toes to bar. Cool new movement with the dumbbell clean and jerk. So that kind of like got the ball rolling for this 2018 Open, something new for each workout. But 20 minutes, tough way to start.
Yeah, so just to recap that one, it was 20 minutes, AMRAP, 8 toes to bar, 14 dumbbell hang clean and jerks, and then 14 calorie row.
Yeah, that's right. And 12 for the women. Yeah.
20 minutes is a long time, right?
It was spicy. It was good to get the long workout out of the way. In terms of like logistics and stuff for gyms, it was a good one. You could utilize a lot of the gym space. You could use your rowers. It wasn't like a couple years back where they programmed the overhead lunge for 20 minutes and you could only run like
Nightmare.
3 or 4 people at a time.
Yeah.
So this was good. Good start, long workout, get lots of people going in waves, it was kind of like dangling the carrot out in front of the donkey, just get people enticed about, I could actually do this Open thing.
Yeah.
Very, very cool start. So yeah.
That was good. So then we moved on to 18.2, which was dumbbell squats and bar facing burpees as 18.2A. 18.2, and then 18.2A was a 1 rep max clean. Okay, so 2 kind of very different domains there in terms of strength, and then obviously cardiovascular based with the burpees over the bar as well. Yeah,
love how this workout was programmed. Going back to 15.1A, start off with a 9-minute AMRAP, and then once the AMRAP was finished, you had 6 minutes to establish a clean and jerk. Back then, people kind of gamed the first one so they could get a massive score on their clean and jerk. And then Dave's kind of turned around on this one and said, no, you got 12 minutes to do the entire thing. So I think that's what captures CrossFit to its best is, you have to earn the bar. You have to earn the weights. You got to, work your butt off before you can actually get to the barbell. So I thought it was wicked.
Yeah, this was quite a nice one as well, where people were able to go RX on this. The dumbbells were deceivingly heavy. Definitely when I did it, I found the 50-pound dumbbells to be heavy, but I know a lot of people struggle with them, but people were giving it a go to try and kind of finish in that time cap. And I know some people did it RX to begin with and kind of got a score and then, kind of went back to it just so they could, maybe do it properly. So, but yeah, it was a good workout, tough on the first part and then give it your all on the second part.
Another workout where, again, you could capture a massive cohort of people, keep them enticed in the open. Yeah, this thing is still going okay. And I know a lot of females in our gym who went RX and they like smashed through it, really surprised themselves, you know, throwing around 35-pound dumbbells, so 70 pounds for 55 reps is a massive achievement for some of them. And we did a bucket load of bar-facing burpees, so there was no one who kind of went in kind of scared. They were just like, yeah, this looks fun. Just from the preparation that we've done.
There was not too many one and dones on that workout as well, I believe.
Oh.
Right into
3 and done.
Monday, yeah, 2, 3 and done. People were really giving it a good go. But anyway, times did improve. People were literally knocking like minutes off their time for the first part and then managing to equal it as well. So yeah, so successful for 18.2, which moved us on to 18.3.
Favorite workout.
I have to remember all of these. So 18.3 was the 2 rounds for time, 100 double unders, 20 overhead squats, 100 double unders, 12 ring muscle ups, 100 double unders, 20 dumbbell snatches, 100 double unders, 12 bar muscle ups. Your favorite one?
My favorite.
Yeah, personally or as a coach?
Personally, yeah, and then also as a coach, it is it's the weakness highlighter, and still in this day and age, it kind of gobsmacks me that there are some guys and girls out there that have muscle ups, but double unders aren't their strongest thing.
Oh my God.
So they had to struggle through 200 double unders to even try and attempt to muscle up. And then those people who have wicked, double unders, but then even that barbell at 115 and 75 or 80 pounds, that was made a struggle for some people as well. So if you had one kink in your armor, like it was a workout that just kind of brought everything apart, and it really highlighted to people what they do need to work on. And there was so many articles going up like, told you so, this is what you should have been practicing, did you actually practice what you were meant to practice? So hopefully now it gives everyone an idea of what they need to work on. It might be a little bit confronting to think, oh, I've got everything to work on, but attack one thing at a time, and you'll be totally fine. But yeah, I love this workout. I think it's an awesome workout. More like a 14-minute AMRAP than anything, not 2 rounds per time for us.
Yeah. I mean, a little bit more interest on that one was because it wasn't as easy to repeat that one because of all the double unders.
No.
So definitely after, 18.2 there was a lot of kind of people repeating. They weren't able to do that. So kind of gave a different emphasis on that one as well.
Yeah.
All right. What was 18.4?
It's Diane.
Ah, yes.
Girl benchmark. 21:15.9. Deadlift, handstand push-up, and then 21:15.9 in between each of those, a 50-foot handstand walk. So another new element.
Have they done benchmark girls in the open before?
No.
No, I think that was
like thrust to chest to bar. So they've gone like Fran-esque workouts, but they've never done a benchmark. But to see handstand walking come up in the open, I know before the open, Mikkel was talking about like there's going to be handstand walking. Like
called it.
They're going to have to do it. Yeah, because you see the overhead lunge that came out a couple of years ago, and then now that we've got that 25-foot track, there's the options are endless to do some sort of walking, carrying, shuttle, sprint intervals. Who knows what they're going to throw out, but yeah, to see handstand walking and to see a few people who've got really good handstand push-ups and then try and get to the handstand walk and fall over a few times. I know.
I was even going to say just the open standard for a handstand push-up obviously highlighted some weaknesses as well. And I know it's all the kind of stuff that you're always trying to teach a lot of the time, transferable skills. And
yep, it rewards, that really good quality gymnastics position. Now, what were they saying back in, what's regionals? It was like the 2013 regionals, I think it was, and they did Diane as a regional workout, and some of the fastest times were like Chris Spieler, minute 50. But back then there was no standard to how high you had to get up on the handstand push-up. It was literally your head touches the floor and the judge watched for your arms to lock out. You could have been in the worst body shape ever, but it still counted. There were some lightning fast times back then. So now with these new standards, that's going to be standardized across regionals and the games. Obviously regionals and stuff, because generally when it goes to the games, they're going to do like parallel handstand push-ups. So there's no too much emphasis on like the height that they have to achieve, because it's more the challenge of the depth. But yeah, it was unfortunate. There were some like outliers. I know like Jacob Hepner and stuff, he put up a post about he literally just has massive forearms and he couldn't make it. And his score was not applicable. And he's put up a massive post like he's going to not make regionals because of it. Yeah. So they might have to go back to the drawing board and assess that from case by case. But overall, yeah, it was another really good workout. Like 4 weeks in a row, they hit it on the head. Yeah,
I noticed a few people that struggled on here that I've seen, whack out multiple handstand push-ups before, and then as soon as that standard came in, they became stuck.
So hopefully they're going to get to Luca's gymnastics class.
Yes.
And learn about body positions.
Luca's behind the camera, by the way. Hey, Luca.
Come on, bro, give us a shout out.
Yeah, no, but seriously, like if you found that some of your weaknesses through the open, that's why we do it. You find your weaknesses and then you work on them. We do have the speciality classes, the weightlifting with Mikkel on a Sunday and Tuesday, and then we also have the gymnastics class as well. And we kind of speak about this, and gymnastics is never going to be as popular as a weightlifting class purely because of the return you get through each session. You can kind of make small changes within weightlifting and see immediate results, whereas the gymnastics, you could be working on a skill for up to a year before you see any kind of improvements. And I think that's tough to take sometimes. So definitely, if you notice some weaknesses in there, maybe come and have a chat with us, have a chat with Luca, and let's see if we can build you a plan. Because it's a little bit more to do with the accessory stuff and managing your body weight a little bit better. So definitely have a chat about that. Okay, 18.5, the one that's just been complete as many reps as possible in 7 minutes, 3 thrusters, 3 chest bars, increased by 3.
Super
now,
bombed.
The Phantom podcast that we were talking about, Tommy actually called this one, didn't you? Near enough.
13.5 was my call. And when he announced that it was going to be your choice, I was like, well, how's he going to program this? He's going to program similar movements, but just in a different style. So then when he announced, and I was listening to Dave when he was speaking, he was saying, originally it was just the 2 workouts. It was 11.6 and 12.5 and 13.5. That were the 2 options. And then he's like, no, we'll chuck in a 3rd one just to make it interesting. And then when I saw the chest to bar overhead squat workout, I was like, oh, not again. So I thought, because we've repeated the overhead squat chest to bar, that one's been repeated. And then 11.6, 12.5 has been repeated. I was like, come on, surely they have to do 13.5. I know that's the one that Dave wanted all the athletes to do, and it would have been a really good test to see how many more athletes could have gotten through the 4 minutes and the 8 minutes and maybe into the 12 minute, because back then there was only a handful of athletes that actually made it through the 8 minutes. So I don't know, maybe he's going to program that next year just to, get it out there. But
why do they repeat workouts? Just if anybody's unsure. Like, why do they repeat workouts in the open?
So CrossFit's kind of methodology is your training needs to be measurable, it needs to be repeatable, and it needs to be observable. So you literally need to be able to see how your progress has gone since starting. And that's why they have the girl benchmark workouts, 1RM lifts, all that type of stuff. And that's why they're standardized as a universal test. So when you start CrossFit and you might get to do this open workout or Fran or something like that. And, people can look back and say, oh, the first Fran I did was with an unloaded barbell and jumping pull-ups, and I got a time of 7:21. 5 years later, I did Fran RX and it took me 3 minutes 30. Like, that's how you're going to track and highlight your fitness across the years, and especially in a wider community. I know they do it each year. That's why they repeat workouts in the open. So they can look back and say, oh, in 2014, this is how fit we were. 2 years later, and we're now X percentage fitter. And the whole community is getting pushed up. So it needs to happen. It's a brilliant idea to keep repeating workouts all the time, just to see how everyone goes and see if people have been working on their weaknesses. And
yeah, I mean, like even in classes, we're always trying to get people to record their scores, record their weights. I guess the difference is, you should be doing your workouts properly every single session. But at least in the open, you've got someone there judging you. So you know that when you look back at your workout in the open, you know that it's a legitimate score. Rather than maybe you didn't clap your hands above your head on one of the burpees in the class that you did on the 100th rep. Those little things all add up. And that's kind of why they do it. And it's good. And it's a little bit more exciting as well, trying to guess which is going to be the open repeat for the year. So you guys who have done it for the first year, you can have that to look forward to next year as well. So moving on then, we kind of summed up a little bit then in terms of, people have done the open now, why have they done it? So we're saying to keep it measurable, but why should people kind of look to do it next year as well?
Well, next year as well, like there's a whole year now. And I know for some people it might be as simple as this year I scaled and my goal next year is just to do the workouts RX. It might not matter how far they get into workouts, how much work they get done in some of the workouts, but it might just be simply as in a year's time, I want to try and do all the workouts as prescribed or as best as prescribed as possible. And then that'll highlight to them, have they been working on everything that they need to? Or it might just be the case that they just enjoyed 5 weeks of throwing down with their mates in a gym setting, you know, as a community. We could even make it like a bigger thing here at the gym as well, where everyone comes down and supports and make it like a five week kind of throwdowny thing. But I know 5 weeks is tough. I can't imagine what it's like for all the games athletes and regional aspiration athletes.
Well, even here we saw the dip in numbers for one reason or another. People have, you know, responsibilities and stuff like that, but we definitely saw a dip in numbers from people coming down on the Friday to do 18.1 and people come down to do 18.5.
Yeah, it's tough. 5 weeks is a tough time, and obviously we try and program as best as we can to make sure they stay healthy. But now hopefully people are going to set some goals, or they're going to come and chat to their coaches. They're going to go to gymnastics, go to weightlifting. And, you know, stay committed, you know, give themselves that little hour, 2 hour break from work, from life, from, you know, we want to make these sessions, you know, some of the best hours of their day where they're, you know, progressing and, you know, getting better at something, learning about their bodies a little bit more. And the Open just kind of highlights that, like, are you just getting fitter in general? And there's going to be people who might start CrossFit tomorrow. They're 44, never done fitness in their life. And now they can look back and do an Open and say, like, yeah, I'm fitter than I've ever been. I was fitter than when I was 24 years old. So, you know, that's all the Open is for me. It's just people coming together, throwing down for a couple of weekends, having a bit of fun with it. Don't take it so seriously.
Yeah.
Just enjoy the health and fitness at the end of the day is what CrossFit's about.
I think the beauty that we've got now in terms of the two programs that we run, we have the fitness program and the performance program. You know, we'll talk more about the fitness program on another show. And we already kind of know that that's one for, you know, someone getting back into exercise or someone who's maybe carrying an injury or just wants to back it off a little bit. But then what that does with the performance program, it gives us the luxury to kind of structure it a little bit more for someone who's trying to push on to maybe get better at CrossFit or to follow a particular program. So you guys might not know this, but there's definitely structure. As much as CrossFit is randomized, constantly varied, all that kind of stuff. Tom, who does the programming for the performance class, there's very much a structure behind it. And I'm not just talking on a week basis, I'm talking on a yearly basis. So do you want to give the guys a little bit of an idea now of what they're up to?
Of what's coming next? Yeah, so this past week after the Open was a kind of deload. Just in our preparation, in our lead up to the Open, there was a lot of time caps. You have to get certain amount of reps and time frames, and there was a fair amount of stress put on our members to kind of, you know, move fast and efficiently and everything like that. So this week has just literally been AMRAPs galore, no set time cutoffs, no set work requirements that they have to get through. Just literally, if you did the Open, then you can come in and just move at your pace and just move for the sake of moving. If you didn't do the Open, then you can obviously still come in and trash yourself and get a really good workout in. Getting a little bit more load back on the body as well. So we are now in our preparation phase for when we're going to do a strength cycle. So we're going to do more strength bias. Obviously, with CrossFit, we still need to make sure that it's varied and we're doing all the elements of CrossFit, but we're going to have a little bit more of a bias towards strength. So this week 1, so it's 10 weeks in total. This first week, like I said, is just literally get some load back onto the body. We've been doing lightweight, fast, efficiently, moderate weight, working on technique stuff. So now this week was, you know, get people actually lifting a little bit heavier again, not maxing out, but just getting to the ballpark of maybe where their ones kind of might be. Next week we'll test and see what their lifts actually are on all the big power lifts, so back squat, deadlift, front squat, and a press as well. And then from there, that'll give them some numbers that they're going to work off for the next 8 weeks. You know, just make it a little bit more enjoyable, or a little bit more enticing. You know, sure, we could just program just normal CrossFit, not mention anything, but at least it gives people now the opportunity to kind of have something to look forward to. And if they know that something is happening in the gym and I have to be there, then it's just going to, you know, keep them committed, because I've seen it in the past 5-6 years that I've been around a CrossFit gym. And always after the open, there's a drop off. There's a lull. People don't really know what to train for. They're kind of like, oh, I'm really over the open and moving hard and fast and intensely. What do I do now? At my gym, we had a throwdown just before regionals or at regionals, a regional time where our members could still train for that. But there was...
Yeah, we've got a throwdown coming down in May sometime as well. So
there you go. Pick up your game. But at least this is going to give the members some structure. And it is programs so that you should be hopefully coming Sunday through to Thursday. Obviously, the weekend sessions are still there to have a bit of fun, just general conditioning stuff. But 8 weeks of strength is going to be a bit of fun.
Yeah, no, you nailed a good point there. And quite often, people will ask how many times a week should I be training, that kind of stuff. Like I said, the performance programming is a program in itself, and Tom takes it quite seriously. So if you're able to come 5 times a week, you should be coming 5 times a week. That's the program that you're following. There's a little bit more structure to it, as he mentioned already. So, hey, if you can get here for the 5 days, go ahead and do it. Like, it's all programmed in. You're not going to get injured as long as you take those kind of 2 recovery days as well and don't overdo it. If you end up missing a workout in the week, it's not the end of the world. What can people do if they miss a workout?
That's it. Like, if they miss one session or a couple sessions, or they're traveling, it's not the end of the world. Like, it's still CrossFit. They can still come in the second or third week and still get a lot out of it. Like, we've got a lot of pilots and stuff like that are in and out of the country, people traveling. So if they miss a session here or there, it's not the end of the world. Like, the program is there as a structure so that for everyone who is here can follow it to a T, and they'll get obviously the most results. But people who are still maybe kind of a bit sporadic, if they're jumping in or every now and then, they're still going to see some results. And we've seen that already just from this first week, saying to people, hey, don't go too crazy heavy. And there's bells been going off galore in every single class. Like, they haven't lifted heavy for a while. And it's just a testament to CrossFit that we don't have to lift heavy to get stronger. And we haven't lifted heavy since the end of last year, November, December, when we did actually some 1RM testing. And now people are ringing bells for new front squat PBs, new bench press PBs. Like, we haven't even started the program. Maybe we should just stop right now. Like, it's done. Everyone's already PB'd. But if they do miss a session, and for example, they might train Sunday, Monday, they miss Tuesday's session, but then they can come in on Wednesday, 30 minutes before the class, and say, hey, I missed Tuesday, it was deadlifts. Do you mind if I do that before the class or outside or something like that? And they can jump in. That's totally fine. Chat with the coaches. We kind of know what is coming up in the program. So you can always chat to us. And if you do want to play catch up, then go for it. There is going to be that day during the week, like this week, where we had 4 kind of bias lifting days. We had 1 big conditioning day where we did a hero workout. We did Bradley yesterday. So it just gives people a chance to just kind of move at their own pace, bit of general stuff. But now for the next 8 weeks, obviously, warm-up is going to be super important. There's going to be accessory stuff in there after lifting. So maybe 1 or 2 of the days throughout the week might just purely be lifting. And you're going to get your intensity in the actual lifts that you'll achieve. And that's what we kind of want to educate our members on, is like, hey, if you're lifting heavy enough and properly enough, you don't need to then go and run 5Ks and say like, oh, but I haven't done enough cardio for today. No.
Yeah, we don't want to see you guys doing a performance class and then doing a fitness class after. Like, that's not the way that it goes. We've been there and done that. That's where injuries start to come from. That's where overtraining starts to happen as well. So just kind of trust the process. And if you're really not sure on what to do, then like we said, just come and chat to us. All right, I've got a question for you. I don't know, we might have varying views on this. Maybe,
Here we go.
Maybe not. It's to do with the open. I got asked this a few times. If someone can RX a workout in the open and they can only get 3 reps of it, should they scale or should they RX? In your opinion?
In my opinion. Well, is it also movement context as well?
Yeah, we could probably go on forever on this one. I'll give you an idea on kind of where it came from. So it was actually the deadlift workout. It was the deadlift first, and what we found was, and I had maybe 4 or 5 people ask me this, they can deadlift the weight, but they can't do any handstand push-ups. Should they do RX or should they do scale?
Depends on how good their deadlifts are, I guess.
Yeah.
How good are they at deadlifting? Look, if if they're close, like if there are absolutely no chance of getting a handstand push-up, whoop, I'm too far away from the mic. If there's absolutely no chance, then I always ask them. I always say to them, hey, maybe they've done the first 3 workouts RX already. And I might say, do you want to keep doing it RX? And do you want to do 21 deadlifts and then battle to try and get a handstand? Or, you just call it there. And they might be happy to do that. They might just be like, yep, I want to continue to do it RX. Or I might say to them, okay, well, you're not going to get any handstand push-ups. You can scale it and get a really good workout in. Do you want to do that? So always put it back onto the individual as well. So I'll always have my viewpoint of what some people should do. If I know that their deadlifts aren't super up to scratch and they might stand the chance of just going a bit too crazy and, run the risk of injury. But I'll always, there's no right, there's no one way. It's not black or white, unfortunately, with that one.
On that workout in particular, the only way that I put it is that, like you said, if you've done RX already and you want to stay and you can do it, then go for it, get a score. There's nothing stopping you. Then if you want to be really cheeky, get a score for RX and then go and do the workout as scaled. There's nothing, there's nothing too wrong with that. You're getting the intensity.
You just got to figure out what they want. So put it back on them, see if you know what's going to make them happy. Because if you force them to scale and they were like, no, but I'm keeping my RX streak alive, like that's what I want to do, and you make them scale, they might be a little bit bummed. But if then you say like, all right, you know you're going to not get any and that's it, and you'd be happy that you only just did 21 deadlifts, and they might be fine to do that.
But do you know what, like the workout's so important as well, because there could be people out there that weren't able to actually deadlift that weight, and you can. So in theory, you should win that because you can deadlift the weight. That's what comes first.
Exactly.
A few years ago, muscle ups was the first movement. 7 muscle ups, 50 wobbles, 100 double unders, and a lot of people got stuck there, didn't they? And maybe there was someone who was a kind of body weight master and they could do the muscle ups, and they were the winner on that workout. So,
but that's the way the open goes. Go back to the first 4 years of it, and there was no scale division at all.
Yeah.
And so then, when was it? I think it was 2011, 60 bar facing burpees, and then the overhead squat was 115 pounds for the guys, 75 for the girls, and you had to do 30 reps. And I remember some old members in my gym saying, I'd never overhead squatted that weight before, and I did 1 rep, and that was it.
Sweet.
Or even the thruster workout, thruster chest to bar, this exact same workout, 18.5, that was programmed in those 2 years. You did three thrusters, and then if you couldn't do a chest to bar, that was your workout.
Yeah.
Done. So everyone back then who did the open got the short end of the stick, and, it just makes you grow from there. You'll go one of 2 ways. You'll either say, well, I need to get stronger and work on this, or, you throw everything into a heap and, chuck your toys away and say, I don't want to play anymore. But hopefully it sends people into that direction of like, right, I know what I need to work on, and hopefully they come prepared for next year.
I think just overall, like we've talked a lot about the open now, and I think just as, like I said, it's the most members we've ever had doing the open here. And it was, down to the coaches kind of pushing people a little bit into it and guiding people into the open. But I was super proud, and I know all the coaches were super proud of the members. And there's so many individual highlights I can think back on each workout. It'd be hard to kind of recap them all. But have you got a recap of maybe someone doing something that you can think of?
I think just for the members who did all 5 workouts, who actually just kept coming in, kept their head down, and made it through all 5 weeks, and they didn't kind of complain or anything. They just came in like, what's the best way to attack this thing? How should we do it? That was the cool side of things for me. It's just CrossFit. There's always going to be movements that come up that people don't necessarily like or can do, but what can you do about it? So the ones who just came in week to week, I'm going to do this as best I can. Oh, you know what? I did my first toes to bar. Cool.
Pull-up was a big one as well. People were getting pull-ups.
Yeah, the pull-up workout, so many people were surprised. And, when we said, reverse your hands, make it more of a chin-up, dead hang, pull from here. And then there's people going, I just got my first pull-up.
Yeah.
I think that for me is much more exciting than a muscle-up. Muscle-ups are glorified now. Everyone knows that they're kind of like the holy grail in CrossFit. But for someone to have no idea if they can do a pull-up to then get through 12 and then maybe a few more like that workout required, that was way more exciting for me to watch people do that. Or maybe they tried in the workout, couldn't do it, and now 2 weeks later, there's still people coming up to me saying like, I got my first pull-up the other day. It's like, where did that come from? And now there's people trying to do kipping pull-ups in the class because they've got 3 strict, which is awesome to see. So that for me is probably the biggest highlight, pushing people out of their comfort zone and seeing members who were nervous about their abilities kind of rise to the challenge. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it was. We've kind of gone over it, and it was cool. And looking forward to next year. Now, like, we have got some throwdowns coming up. We're definitely going to try and get some people involved in them that haven't done it before. And it's like we said, we're just trying to guide you in because we know how rewarding it is once you've done it.
Always.
Anyway, hopefully this podcast saves because it's quite a long one. This will go out on Sunday, so this is the start of the week. So good luck for the rest of the week of your training.
Yeah,
it's nice having the video here. I actually went and got my hair cut. I needed a haircut. Beard trimmed.
I just woke up.
Did you? Can you tell? Afternoon nap.
Quick naps.
So yeah, we'll keep this going. And if anybody has any questions or if anybody has any topics that they want us to talk about, we'll get the other coaches involved as well. And hopefully we can keep this one going. So thanks for today. Catch you later, guys.
See you later.
Thanks for listening to the Sands Fitness Podcast. Join us next time for more talk about all your health and fitness questions. And follow us on Facebook and Instagram for all the latest from the Sands community.